What's up, everybody? All right, so today I'm going to go through my plan for YouTube and how I intend to use the platform. So we've done 70 million in cash collected in total through one singular call funnel, 30 million of which was last year, scaled to over 100 employees. And the goal of this channel is for me to share what we've tried, what we're currently doing, what has broken, and how we are currently scaling to 100 million a year in cash collected. All right, so today, I'm going to go through target audience, current stats, goals, plan, and then a biz update where we're currently at, and just kind of go through how I'm thinking about this YouTube channel specifically. So to get into it, target audience. So industry, business owners doing 100K a month and adjacent. So what I mean by adjacent is not just call funnel owners, not just info and coaching, but there's also a lot of overlap on kind of things within the online business that are relevant to people who are in physical e-commerce, for example, or other online chunks and spaces. So 100K a month, I'm just using as just a rough estimate because a lot of these things that I share are 2, 5, 10% lifts at different parts of your funnel or your business. And for you to get a ton of the value, it really is kind of like more detailed. The stuff for like 0 to 10K is not really in my wheelhouse. And also a lot of this stuff is just not going to be relevant to them because they have to find product market fit and all that. So really who I'm targeting is this in current state. All right. So current stats, this is one you can write home about. But 150 YouTube subscribers and 1,000 on IG. So these are the two like conversion numbers or stats, I guess, that I'm going to use as KPIs. So the goal here is not 100,000 YouTube subscribers, at least not in like current form with the current content. It really is just like a honeypot small zone of people that are in the space that are actually getting value from this, not as much like mass market 0 to 10K, fancy edits and clips and all that kind of stuff. Like that's just not the goal. And then using Instagram more so for the same thing, but using it for communication and like actual direct following, because obviously you can't see like YouTube subscribers necessarily who they are and have good communication. So far, 150, and it's been going on whatever, a week or something, maybe 2 weeks of content that I've been posting, and then 1,000 on Instagram that are then also coming in through here. And I have some crazy stats, but like my comment or reach out from view rate is like crazy high right now, which is great because that's kind of the goal, is just to do that. So to go into the goals, real goal is to get out of the cave is one, right? I've been in online marketing for like almost 10 years and have never really shared anything or like come out of the cave. We've been running this business specifically for 5 years, 6 years at this time. And I just haven't shared anything. So I think just getting out of the cave and just making these is a huge boost for me personally and selfishly. So the actual goals of this though, in terms of the content, are network, opportunities, and talent. So what I mean by that is, again, network, part of the out of the cave thing. Terrible, super introvert in terms of like networking and a little bit better online, but like in person, terrible. So being able to find and have a network of people who are also in the space, who are also succeeding, who can bounce ideas off. Like this is all I think about, all I talk about all the time. And it's kind of dry to not have that in your life in any other place. And I don't really have this. So building out a network is huge. So that's why I say like Instagram followers and DMs and seeing stories and back and forth with other people in the space is like huge value to me. So definitely trying to grow here as the main. From that then comes opportunities. So people who are maybe at lower ranks of this or even the same or just getting started, like having opportunities that come where someone already has product market fit and it's like, how can I scale this? And whether that's something I end up getting financially and business involved with, that's one thing, or just actually just helping. But over time, I see this as, like this is more or less like an acquisition.com play. So how Hormozy and them do it, they create all this free stuff, ton of free value content, and eventually funnels down into business owners sharing their stuff with them and getting opportunities to do deals with them. I mean, maybe that's a long-term approach, but right now it is just like feeling out the network and seeing what happens with opportunities. And then talent is a huge one. So without being out and well-known, whether it's the company or you as an individual, it can be kind of hard to attract talent. So as we begin to scale, we need the best of the best talent within our specific space. There are people who come from outside of the industry and come in and crush, but like tried and true, there are people who are in another company or in doing their own business. For example, like Iman has a really good video talking about how he has people who will do 300K a year in their own starter business, but they want to just work somewhere that they can make the same kind of income without having to have the headaches of like actually being a business owner. So being able to find quality talent and people who want to work with you and be a part of your team, not work for you, is huge. So these are the main goals that I'm looking for. And then if you want to like connect those back to actual stats, I don't have a number. I don't have if this is 2,000 or 20,000 or what it is, but the current like soft metrics is something like 10 to 15% of people that are watching the videos are already DMing and following and talking, which is huge. So that's really the goal of this, and just beating the drum on that. So my plan and how I'm looking at it is raw, no fluff, no BS, no ego. So for a long time, definitely had this, and I'm glad I kind of shed at least a layer of it, and we'll see how much further it goes. But I just hate the online stuff that's fluff and like crazy edits and all. Like there's a time and place for that, and especially if you're going mass market and you're trying to get the click and you're trying to do that. But for me, it's just not important, and it's also not important for the goal, right? The goal is not to have 100,000 views on something in current form, right? This may change, but like that's not the goal. I also don't have anything that's mass market that I'm trying to, or even like mid market that I'm trying to offer. I'm not trying to sell anything. I have no interest in doing that. So I already have people asking for consulting and stuff like that, and like maybe in that realm, just because it helps me sharpen it, and I also like to just help. But overall, the goal is just raw, no fluff, no BS, no ego. Like here's what's happening now, and I'll share some of that in the biz update. In the trenches, actively building. So for example, like I made a video yesterday about sales team comp, because I'm inside the sales team dashboards, rebuilding things. We're talking comp. We're talking about how we would adjust it, who else is doing it in the space. And I just want feelers out and just to be able to like actually show what we're actively doing. Right? I said in the very beginning, the goal of this is to get this to 100 million a year in cash collected, and like a lot's going to change. And yes, we have incredible leaders and team that are doing a lot of stuff that I can do overviews on, but like I'm still actively doing things as well, like directly. We always call it like clicking the buttons. So it's like we're getting things done, or you're actually clicking the buttons. I'm trying to get out of clicking the buttons a little bit more as we continue to scale, just for true scale and like to make this a machine. But yeah, so constantly evolving. This is in terms of the actual content. So first couple of videos, audio sucked. Using a studio display right here, and audio sucked, and everyone was telling me that it sucked in my DMs, so got a mic. Like that's how I'm looking at this, is like find the next break point. Content is getting pushed out. I'm getting whatever 2,000 impressions, let's call it, on a video with like a 0.2% click-through rate, because the thumbnails or the titles are terrible. So what did I do? There's a guy who reached out to me that said he could do it for XYZ price, and he'll do thumbnails and titles for the entire account. It's like, cool, go ahead, do it, right? Zoomed out ugly content. I was looking at these docs, for example, way zoomed out. I had all the text already plugged in there, so you could see everything, and there was no like, this blacked out section down here. And all of this is like, day over day, week over week. Like I'm sure I'll look back on this and be like, wow, these were terrible. But I started, and that's really all I care about, is that I'm actually just doing it. So that's what I mean here by zoomed out ugly content, rambling, plan content. Okay. So like even just putting this document together versus just opening a spreadsheet and kind of riffing live is in the right direction. It could be a lot better, right? Like my packaging of how I'm doing this could be a lot better. But this is the initial state, and just kind of how I'm able to do it every single day as of now. And maybe that'll change to a couple times a week, but getting into building in public, it might not be a couple times a week, because there's constantly stuff happening. So right now it's just like info. There's a way to maybe make it into like infotainment, but again, that's like a whole team or job or something that I don't know that I'm really looking to do or interested in at this time. But what I mean by build in public is the videos aren't as much like evergreen in the way that like how to get your first 10,000 followers on Instagram, right? Like that video can be watched at any point and it's the same ish style. What I'm looking to do is more so like vlogging is a good example, like in the life, like real time, because I want to be able to do like real updates and be able to be, okay, yesterday we did X amount of cash collected, or these stats, or this last month we did this. And I think that'll be super valuable for people to see like where our evolution is and what we're doing. And also for us to look back and be like, where did we fail? Where did we succeed? Oh, 6 months ago we had these stats. What happened and changed because now they're down? Like being able to do that with the real goal here of 100 million cash collected. All right. So this is not that out of touch, especially how we're changing things with acquisition, with our acquisition model. So I think this is like super realistic, and what we're targeting, the timeline, definitely not in 2025. I wouldn't see it as, unless we hit some like crazy scale. But into the next year, I could see it. Real behind the scenes, like I said, and then I need to figure out a better way, but I want to be able to build in public, but in order to show stuff, sometimes there's like customer info or team info, and I don't feel comfortable sharing that because like they didn't sign up for this, and that's just not allowed. So I need to figure out a better way here. But that's the general gist of like how I'm looking at this. So if I was to get to 2,000 or 5,000 or whatever of like actual proper business owner following, there's a lot of great guys who do it. Like Ravi has a good channel. His a little bit more mass market, and he has an offer. Jeremy Haynes has one that's really good, but his is like advertiser kind of specific, but all about call funnels, getting to $1 million a month. He has really good content. So they are targeting specific buckets of the pocket, or pockets like within the market, which I love. So that kind of style. But in current state, their stuff is a little bit more edited up than mine, and maybe I'll get there or want to get there, but in current state, I don't want to. So that's where we're at. And then biz update. This is where I want to go and talk about where I'm saying like info, real updates, all this. So biz update and current state. So last year we did 30 million in cash collected. Last month and like current state is 1.5 million a month. Okay. So like not good, right? So I want to be able to share like fluff or no fluff, no BS about that. So for us currently, it's our show rate, our close rate, and like also the quality for marketing. It's that dance I talk about in other videos about marketing and sales. So we steady state got to 3.8, I think was our peak month in 2024. And again, over the entire year, it was like 30.5 million in cash collected. And right now we're trending, whatever that is, 4.5 million a quarter, like not good, 20 million. So for us right now, we're having a show rate issue. So our show rates are 45 to 50%. We changed a bunch of stuff. Automation's broke. Things are trending or not trending, showing on Google result if you look up like our brand name. So we're having like all these issues around that. Close rate is a sales team issue that we're just having in general. So that is everything from Vibe. I made other videos about like the comp model and how it can not necessarily incentivize correctly. So like we're looking at tons of different things on how to solve for this. But if I was just to look at the marketing side, for example, it's like, okay, so we could do better quality, because the biggest complaint from sales, which always will be, but right now it's definitely like a little bit hotter, is the quality and then also the shows. So shows, we currently look at them as like a marketing thing, not a salesperson thing, which I'm back and forth on, but like that's how we've done it forever, because it's all the automations, it's the framing, like there is a marketing portion, but sales really has like no responsibility for it at all. And that I think is an issue. So not having any like control or feeling like they have control and getting just 50% of their bookings just taken off their calendar because people don't show up or cancel is like not ideal. So when we were truly crushing, we had it at like 55, 60%. And I've heard of people going to 70, 80%. It's just something we've never solved for. So their close rate, their live call close rate is down as well. So it's not even just, so that could be, quality as well. So all to say, marketing is working on this and doubling down. And what we're doing in marketing is we're transitioning to just better, like we just had a new CMO come in that is an absolute rock star in the space, and he's like a week in. So none of this is reflective of that. So in a month I could say, oh cool, we're at 3 million, right? Like it's that quick of a flip of a switch that could happen, because calendars are 80% booked, but the actual, the close rate and like the sales per booking is down. So if we just solve for that, and it's not necessarily just that, but if we just solve for sales per booking and went back to our normal rates, we would be at 3 million a month. Like it's that simple. And it's that simple, but it's not that easy. So with marketing, we're doing new things. We're doing low ticket. So we just launched that. And with low ticket, we're doing setters as well. So booking in as that post-purchase call that they can go in and they'll talk to a setter. Then they talk to a setter, get pushed on a closer calendar. So ideally that's higher intent or higher quality because they're a buyer, not a lead. They have then also been set and been qualified. So ideally what you think is the math backs out that you have higher show rates, higher close rates, more qualified person, and that whole chain of events. Now we're also doing this with setters on the current VSL funnel. So finding drop off in the app not booked. And then also we're almost there, but we're going to likely take like direct bookings that would come from either DQ or from anywhere in the automations. And instead of putting them straight to closers, vet them through. So only allowing the whatever percent of people to come through that already qualify and hit all the boxes and have the intent to book a call. And then anyone else that we're trying to like recapture or push back through automations, and that's email and SMS and all those pieces, pushing them to setters to get qualified. So that's the goal. That's where we're at right now. I know this is kind of like more of a selfish or just like me video, but I think it's important just to share like what the goals are and just kind of how I'm thinking about it. Cause anyone can do this. And I just forever, put this off and didn't do this part. Right. And, I wish I would have. So now we're here. So again, subscribe, go on Instagram for communication and following there, and, drop any comments below this, if you have any questions or want me to talk about anything specific. So I will talk to you guys soon. Bye.